Welcome to Goddess on the Rise. I am your host, Sarah Brooke Berg, your holistic self-love baddie practitioner who's also a board-certified life coach. In this podcast, I teach you how to turn yourself the fuck on with self-love, reclaiming the body that is yours and a life where you can come out on top. So buckle up, girlfriend. We are going for a ride. What is up, my beautiful butter almond biscuits? I'm just kidding. That is my newest snack that I'm obsessed with from Trader Joe's. Anyways, what is up? Happy Thursday. So excited to be back this week. Huge like letdown, right? About last week's episode not coming out. So sorry about that. I picked up an extra shift and I had worked, I think it was night shift that night, and I was trying to get some sleep all day and it never happened. So I should have just got up and recorded the episode anyways, but here we are. Another week down in January. Like, what? I feel like it's not even the start of a new year anymore, even though we're literally in that month. But I feel like this month has like dragged on for like 400 million years. Does anybody else feel that way? I feel like not February. I feel like January is always like the longest month ever. But we are here. We are back. Happy Thursday. I'm excited to be back. And today we have an exciting episode coming at you. But first, let's just kind of catch up a little bit, shall we? We shall. Okay, so I have been listening to this other girl's podcast that I don't know, okay. My sister was obsessed with this girl, right? And she's like a fitness person. I don't know what to call her. Anyways, so I started becoming obsessed with her because, my sister's obsessed with her and I love my sister. So, I'm just like, okay. And I got like really into it, like watching her stories every day. And I've since not unfollowed, but on my new Instagram account, I don't follow her because I just noticed like I would start to play the comparison game or I'd just be really annoyed. So I was like, okay, this obviously isn't healthy. So I stopped following her, but she popped up on podcasts the other day. I love listening to podcasts in my car when I'm driving to work, and so I was like, you know what? I'll just listen to it, right? And see what she's been up to, what she's doing. Hopefully it won't trigger me as much. So I started listening and I felt like very much so, I don't know. I don't want to say cringe because I don't want to tear a female down. Not that she'll ever listen to this because, she's like way many followers, but still. I just felt like very uncomfortable listening to her. And then I started like, oh shit, like, I wonder if my people feel the same way. Like, obviously they wouldn't listen. You wouldn't listen, right? If that wasn't the case, stroke my ego for a moment, please. I'm just kidding. But no, I just noticed like I didn't really like the layout of her podcast, and I just wasn't crazy about it. She would spend like 45 minutes like updating everyone on her life and doing like these different segments, and then she'd actually get into like the chunk of the podcast, and the rest of it would only be like 20 minutes. And I was like, wow, I don't know, it's just weird. Just weird to me. Not my favorite thing to do, but I did like how she kind of did like a little like life update and then got into the podcast. So I don't know. We'll try it out. We'll see. Again, like I'm not trying to tear someone else down because, if anything, it just shows that like what I notice and what I actually tell my clients too is that when someone like kind of not triggers you, because I wouldn't say triggered, but I was just like, ew, cringe. And the fact that I judge someone like that, it tells me that I obviously have more inner work to do, which I already know, right? Like I'm doing it. But what I like to remind myself of, and what I like to remind my clients of, is like, if there's something that you see in someone else like that, and it makes you judge them, and it makes you like say, and again, I don't think I was like judging her. I just was like, oh, I don't like that. But when you like reverse that, like, what is it that you don't like? It's because it's like a mirror back to you, right? Like there's something there. So like, like internalized fat phobia. I don't think I'm getting my point out very good, but that's okay. We're just going to go with it. Internalized fat phobia, right? So like I am, body positive, body neutrality, self-love all the way, plus size bodies, like fuck diet culture, fuck fat phobia, all that, right? And if I see someone else and I notice like a little ping or like a little judgment come up, I'm like, oh yeah, that's because what I see in her is something that I don't like about myself. Right. And this made so much sense about the podcast that I was listening to, that girl I was listening to, because she would like say things like, girly pop and, like, oh gosh, what else? Like she would be singing on there, like just being so funny. And I could see myself like that ping that I felt, like that little like, ooh, I don't like that. It's because I literally saw myself in that. And I was like starting to like feel something like, oh crap, like am I cringy on my podcast, right? Like not saying she was cringy on hers, but do you know what I'm saying? Is this making sense? I got to turn off my phone, so hold on. Let's see here. Okay, I think my phone is off now. Okay. We'll see. I have it on silent, but my sister is texting me. She's got some stuff going on, so we'll see if I need to pause again. But anyways, I don't know. It's just one of those things that I kind of noticed. I was like, I don't judge people like I used to. I'll tell you that much. And I want you to know, like, it's human to judge. I don't want you to feel some type of way when I bring that up. It's very human. It's very human experience. So I don't want you to feel any way towards that, right? And another reminder is like, if you're dealing with like worrying about what people are going to think of you or if people are judging you, I want to remind you that other people's thoughts are none of your business. That is one thing that has saved me, that phrase. Other people's thoughts are none of your business. They are private for a reason. Okay, so just try to remember that. Hopefully that could be your biggest takeaway from today's podcast. Anyways, I noticed it and I wanted to share it tonight because I think that we get caught up, in other people's stuff and judgments and all that kind of stuff. Like here I was worrying about, oh my gosh, do my people think I'm cringy? Well, first of all, I'm not her people. Like I don't listen to her podcast all the time. I don't follow her on social media. And so like I'm not her crowd, right? She was speaking to her crowd and she is very successful podcast. Like she's talking about all these people she's going to have on. I mean, like that's amazing. I'm so happy for her. But I'm not her audience, and that is okay. Just like if someone comes on here and listens to my podcast and they are judging it or upset with something that I've said, because Lord knows I cuss like a sailor. But those types of things, like, that's okay because they're not my people, right? Like if you're listening to this and you're like, yeah, I get everything you're saying, right? And you listen to this podcast every week, right? And you follow me on social media, you are my person. And that's what this message is for. So anyways, hopefully you got something out of all of that rambling. And I think part of like some of this has came up because my sister, shout out to my sister if she's listening to this right now. I love you, sis. But even some of my friends, they're not harsh. Let me just clarify. They're not harsh, but they give me feedback. And when they give me feedback, like they don't hold back, including my sister. My sister is one of them that does not hold back. I'm actually going to pull up a text that she sent me, and I was like, bitch, you got me thinking shit now. Like, damn it. Okay, let's see where it was at. It was really actually kind of funny. Oh yeah, she did text me, quit yawning in your podcast. I can't help it. Okay, I can't help it. And she's like, it's making me tired. And I was like, okay, yawning does not always mean tired. It's actually like a movement of energy. And so she's like texting me, your dating anniversary face palm. Oh my God. And I told her, STFU. She said, bitch, this podcast, I'm cackling. You're all over the place. And I was like, shut up. Don't tell me that. Like, sometimes I'm a little insecure when it comes to my podcast, which is so funny because everything else I'm like, bitch, please. Confident as fuck in like all these different areas. But like when it comes to podcasting, I'm kind of like, and I think it's because I don't know who's listening, right? Like, unless you tell me you're listening, I don't actually know. So there's like that little ping there, but you know what? I love doing this. I love showing up, and it truly does not matter. I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this for you, whoever is listening. Whatever you need to get out of it, you're going to get out of it, right? So anyways, here we are. That was kind of like a little update, and I love that. That was fun. Another little update, like hopefully my boss doesn't actually listen to my podcast, because that'd be embarrassing, because I'm going in and quitting tomorrow. Gasp. Yeah, I'm going to go in and quit at Carson tomorrow. That's where I work, this place in Carson. And it has just gotten like super dangerous. It was dangerous when I left the first time, and I didn't actually leave. My nursing license went inactive, so I had to like pause and wait for the FBI to finish processing my fingerprints, which is so stupid that you have to get that done for a nursing license in Nevada when I've carried nursing license in many other states. Like, come on. Okay, we're going to pause for a second, and we're going to chug. I am drinking out of my gorgeous pink Stanley cup. I think I told you guys about that story, didn't I? If I didn't tell you, let's tell you real quick. I got it at Target. I don't know if that's the only place you can buy it or not. I can't remember, but we found it hidden. It was completely sold out, right, at Target. It's like what I've never been able to find them at Target. And we just happened to be in the like coffee aisle with all the coffee pots and Keurigs and espresso machines. And it was like hidden, and it had dents and scratches on it. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like, I really have been dying for this cup, but like, man, it's not perfect. I'm kind of mad. And I was like, Chris, grab it quick. Like, I don't want someone to like come around the corner and like snatch it, cause like they're so popular. It's ridiculous. And so I had him snatch it up. And we took it up to the front. We also bought an espresso machine, and we took it up to the front, and the girl was like, yeah, I'll give you 10% off. And then she accidentally hit the 15% off button, and then couldn't figure out how to get it off. So that was really funny. So now I got this fancy like Stanley cup that I'm obsessed with. Listen, it's helping me drink water. So like, it was worth the money. I don't even care. And it doesn't leak, which I'm obsessed with, because my hydro jug leaked. Even though they're super cute, they leak. My sister doesn't have that experience, but I do. And so does my husband. So like, whatever. Anyways, got this gorgeous Stanley cup, drinking out of it. I got an espresso machine. Shout out to my husband. And now I'm making chestnut praline lattes all the time. And it's a problem. So also like, husband, like, how dare you freaking buy that for me? You're rude. Now I'm not getting my water in because I'm just making chestnut praline lattes all the time. So fun fact about me, I have ADHD, so you'll notice me bounce around from topics because I can't ever, keep a topic for more than like 2 minutes. But let's get into today. Now that you guys have had all those little crazy updates, let's get into what I really wanted to talk about today. Okay, today's topic I wanted to talk about is something that I actually talked about like on my Instagram. I don't know if it was last week or the week before. I think it was the week before actually. And I was working out and I did not feel like it. I was struggling so bad. But I knew what movement does for me, right? It allows me to be more creative, which is like one of the top reasons why I do it. And then not only that, but it just makes me feel really good, like afterwards. I mean, healthy endorphins pumping, like, yes, please give me more of that, right? And then I know what it does for my body, right? It's good for the nervous system. It's good for like the fascia and the muscles and all the other things, it's good for lymph movement. If you don't know this, lymph in your body, your lymphatic system is not a muscle. It's actually like the only organ really that's not like a muscle, or the only system, and so it actually relies on movement to drain. So like bouncing up and down, massage, that kind of stuff. And then of course movement like on a treadmill, elliptical, like muscle lifting, all that kind of stuff, helps move the fascia. So if you're not doing that regularly, imagine like all the lymph that's stuck, we got to move it out. So fun fact, there's many different reasons that you can work out, and do movement. That's what I like to call working out, movement. And it's not just for weight loss. And if you don't know, now you do know, I am very big on like anti-diet culture, and weight loss. Not necessarily like, oh, weight loss is bad, but like a lot of people will tell me, like, they'll come to me, they'll be like, I want to lose weight. Okay, well, tell me why you want to lose weight. And then they're like, well, I want more stamina. I want to feel better. I want to sleep better. I want this. I want that. And I'm like, okay, so those are your goals, not weight loss, because those do not equal weight loss, and weight loss does not equal those, right? Like weight loss doesn't equal more stamina or more strength. Weight loss just equals weight loss. And you can actually get more stamina and more strength by not losing weight, right? Or weight loss could be a byproduct of it, right? But that's not what the goal is, right? The goal is more stamina, more endurance, more strength, right? So many times, often we like kind of get wrapped up in like diet culture and we don't even recognize that we're doing it, right? And we'll say things like, I want to lose 10 pounds. But when we start to like peel back the layers of like, why do you want to lose 10 pounds? Well, I want to feel better in my jeans. Okay, well then that's what the goal is, right? 10 pounds doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to feel better in your jeans, but what could mean that you feel better in your jeans, right? Maybe walking, every day on the treadmill and choosing foods that make you feel good, right? And by feel good, I mean like instead of make you feel bloated and sluggish and tired, they give you energy and they make you feel lively when you eat them, and you're not in this like slump at 3 p.m. after you get done eating them, right? So those are ways to achieve the other goals, right? Instead of using the word weight loss, I really want you to think about your goals when you start to make them. So moving right along though, the reason for this episode was that when I posted this on my story, everybody was like, oh my gosh, yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you, right? Like this is what's happening in my life. And I asked you if you wanted a podcast episode on this, and you said yes. And what really sparked all of this was that me and my husband were together, and he was on an elliptical and I was on an elliptical, and I was like, I just don't feel like doing this. And he's like, well, you know what I say when I don't feel like doing this, I say, the pain won't last long. Just keep pushing through. And I got to thinking, and I was like, yeah, I mean, like, that's great for him, right? Like, he's a freaking beast. Like, he doesn't ever have an issue with working out. He could work out like 6 times a day and not even blink an eye. Like, I swear that guy can go forever. It's ridiculous. Oh my God, I just realized how that sounded. Anyways, that's not what I meant. Okay, back to what I was saying. Oh my God. And I was like, talking out loud to him, and I was like, oh, that's really interesting, because like actually what would do it for me is, and then I started talking to my body, and the things that I said, I was like, okay, I see you. I know you're tired right now, but I want you to think about just doing this for 5 minutes. First of all, I want to thank you for showing up here today, for helping me walk to the gym, for helping me get onto this elliptical. And I know that you're tired. I see that. And I can't wait to allow you to rest. But first, I want you to just try for 5 minutes to give it what you got. And then after 5 minutes, if you're not feeling like doing it, then we'll stop. And that was what I said, right? Like, I was saying this to my body, and I was reminding her like how amazing she is. Like, you've already walked me to the gym. You've already got me on this elliptical. And for that, I thank you. I see you. I know you're tired, right? So like actually having this conversation with my body and like letting her hear me. And I was talking out loud, like I was saying it out loud, and my husband heard, and it was just like this really, like, first of all, intimate moment, right? Because like he's hearing me talk to my body, and here I am talking to my body and allowing him to witness that. It was very like vulnerable and intimate, and I thought that was really beautiful. And I don't even think he like recognized that, right? Because like Lord knows they're so oblivious, but it just felt like very special for me in that moment. But then also like talking more about like just allowing my body to know that like, listen, like, you know, we are doing this and I'm proud of you for showing up. And what I usually do is give myself the 5-minute rule. So I start the timer for 5 minutes, and after 5 minutes, if I'm really not feeling it, then permission to stop, right? Permission to be done with the workout. But I often find that after 5 minutes, I'll tell myself, okay, what about 5 more minutes? Like, can we do 5 more minutes? And then we do 5 more minutes. And then after 5 more minutes, I'm like, what about another 5? And then I do another 5. And from there, you know, it starts to feel good. I start to get warmed up, and then I start to enjoy myself. So those are 2 big tips. One is to talk to your body, let her know like, hey, I'm not ignoring you. Right? Like, I know you're tired. I know you want to rest, but let's try this and see if that helps. And for me, it sure did help. It sure did. It usually always does, right? Like, some sort of movement allows me to like rest even deeper. I don't know what it is. I love it though. Another thing is dropping into your body. So one of the things that I love to do is like actually notice my body when I'm doing these workouts. And what that means is like, instead of just like putting on music, breathing through an exercise, or counting like repetitions, I drop into my body and I notice how it feels. So say I'm doing like bicep curls, right? I start to feel the muscle rather than just blindly listen to my music and count my reps. And so I push myself to go and to when the muscle fatigues. And that's when I'll stop. So maybe it's like 8 reps, or maybe it's like 18 reps, right? But the whole point is to drop into my body and notice how this feels for me. That has been a massive game changer because it makes me feel more connected to my body. And then also, one of the things that I've done is that if I'm at the gym and I have a workout plan and I get there and then the plan doesn't seem to be like what my body is craving, I let my body do what it wants. So like the last few times it's been elliptical, and then like these hamstring leg curl things. And the last 2 times I wanted to do it both. Like I wanted to do the elliptical and then the hamstring curls, even though I had already done the hamstring curls the last time. But I just listened to my body and I was like, okay, like, is this really what you want? Like, you want to do this again? And it felt so good. It felt really good to not have like this plan that I had to follow so strictly. It felt good to just listen to what my body wanted and what I needed. And it felt amazing when I was done. And I was sore, but it was like the best kind of sore. Like I really enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed the soreness and I enjoyed my workout. Like I was able to put so much more into it, and I focused on like my muscles. Like I was feeling them, letting them contract, letting them like lift, and it just felt really, really freaking good. And I have no idea how many reps I did. I did however many I needed. And it just turned out to be like really, really beautiful. I loved it. So those are 3 different things that you can do. 1, talk to your body. 2, drop into your body, like notice, what your muscles are feeling instead of just ignoring them and counting out reps. And then 3 is the 5-minute rule. And I feel like that's pretty much all I got. I feel like those are some really big things that have kind of helped me in the gym. I'm pulling up my notes just to make sure. Yeah. So stop counting, start listening, give yourself 5 minutes, drop into the body and talk to your body. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed those tips today. And if you were someone who reached out and was like, definitely give me the tips, I hope they helped. Let me know which one you're gonna try. Tag me in it. I would love to share, support, cheer you on in any way. And yeah, just keep on keeping on. I don't know what I was trying to say there, but just keep doing you, boo. And recognize like what it is that you're doing movement for, right? So like recognize, okay, am I doing this for weight loss? And if so, get a little bit more clear on what your goal is and what it looks like. And that is my challenge to you. For me, I make very small goals. Like right now, I'm just focusing on just pure movement, like just letting my body like get used to being back in the gym, enjoying whatever it is I'm doing, just making sure like I'm getting something out of it for me, right? Like, so yeah, there's a lot you get out of movement, but like, what is it personally doing for me? Like my mental health, like how do I feel afterwards? Do I feel more energized? So again, just like that dropping into the body. So for me, I'm working on a goal of at least getting to the gym 3 to 4 times a week. It's a struggle. First of all, I drink pre-workout, just to like help me kind of get pumped up for it. But it is a struggle. I feel like I have so much going on. I'm so tired. I say that as I'm like pushing back a yawn. I had to like pause that to yawn. But yeah, I feel like I have what I used to call excuses, right? Like all the excuses in the book to not make it to the gym. But honestly, instead of seeing them as excuses, I just see them as, like real life. Not every day am I going to want to go and live in the fucking gym. It's just not me anymore. And I'm so thankful for that. And I think that's also part of like eating disorder recovery and what like cult recovery. The Beachbody cult recovery. I'm not saying that very lightly though. I'm telling you that. I know it sounds like I'm joking, but like real talk, that's what I feel like it was some days. But anyways, after like healing from all that, I know I've talked about it in previous episodes, but let me tell you what, it was a lot deeper than what I realized. So that has been fun, dealing with that, deconditioning that, and just like holding space for myself and supporting my nervous system. That's what my life looks like now. And because of that, I definitely hold a lot of space for myself when it comes to the gym. I don't ever want to feel like I'm forcing myself ever again. Like, you won't see that. And so that is why I'm so focused on my body. How is she feeling? How can I support her? How can I gently tell her, like, movement, it feels so good, even though we forced it for years and we abused it for years. Like, coming back from that is definitely a different space, different look. So just being very gentle on myself. And I encourage you to do the exact same. If your body is telling you no, listen to her and try to figure out why. What's going on there that tells her no? And maybe, or that she's telling you no, and maybe that's because she really does need rest. And maybe that's what you need more than the gym. And maybe at first this feels very like out of the box to talk to your body and to kind of recognize what is she saying back to you. And maybe she won't even want to talk to you after years of not listening to her. Just take it slow like you would, meeting a new friend or rekindling with a new friend. Just take a moment to just really drop in. So let's practice this together before we end the podcast today. So I want you to just close your eyes if you can. And if you can't, maybe just lower your gaze. And I just want you to take a few deep breaths here with me. So in through the nose. Audible exhale. Beautiful. We're going to do that one more time together. In through the nose. Audible exhale. Beautiful. And maybe after you did that, you kind of already start to notice like your body is a little bit more relaxed. And as you do so, I want you to think about what it would look like to drop out of your mind and into your body. For me, it feels very calming, a sense of being home. I want you to just kind of notice what it feels like. Maybe there's some tension there, and that's okay. Just be with it. See it. See her, your body. And whenever you're ready, I just want you to open up some dialogue with her. And if you feel like you have nothing nice to say, then we're going to practice that rule. Do not say it at all. And just bring in some neutrality. So if you have nothing nice to say, just bring in some neutrality. So something that you know to be true, like the statement, I see you, or even I feel you. Right? So both of those statements are true and they're neutral. There is no bad or good that comes from it. It just simply is. And as you do so, just keep practicing it. Keep saying it out loud. Maybe at this point, just if it feels good, maybe place your hands on somewhere where you're feeling pressure. Maybe that's your chest, or your heart, or your stomach, and just be with it for the moment. Touching your body and recognizing if there's any negative thoughts coming up, just kind of put them aside and let them know, like, hey, I see you. I'll come back to you when I'm ready, but for right now, this is time for me and my body. And whenever you're ready, I want you to either do one of two things. Either hug your body, so big bear hug around, or simply place your hands on your knees and just notice the touch. And just let your body know that you thank her for being here with you today. And just thank her for listening to you, for feeling you, and for being there for you no matter what. And whenever you're ready, I want you to slowly come back into the room, Notice the four walls around you, the chair below you, and the safety that exists in the room. Beautiful. My gosh, I think I just almost put myself to sleep. That was relaxing even for myself. Like, wow. Anyways, I would absolutely love for you to keep exploring what your body love journey looks like. Maybe it just starts with neutrality, and that's okay. Or starts with movement, and that's okay too. Whatever feels best for you. And you can always come back to this recording as well as you progress through your own journey of seeing your body, of being with your body. And then you're also more than welcome to reach out if you are needing like more deeper support. I hope you know that I offer one-on-one sessions, and they could be a wide variety of any topic, pretty much, like body image, self-love, confidence, health issues. I'm an Ayurveda practitioner. And then diving deeper into things like boundaries, people pleasing, or just even like mental health, right? I can help with all those things. So super fun, super amazing. This was a definitely different episode than I've done in a while, which, I mean, heck, I've only done 2 episodes here recently, but definitely a different kind of pace. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed this calmness that came out of this podcast instead of kind of bouncing all around and being crazy. I paused it for like another yawn there. But I hope you have a happy Thursday. I hope you got something great out of this episode, and follow me on Instagram or Facebook or wherever, and I will see you next Thursday. I love you so much. I mean it.